Hello and welcome to On Second Street, where we've been doing a deep dive on the K-12 public education system, specifically looking into Canadians' concerns and possible solutions. Last month, our think tank secondstreet.org hired Leger to ask Canadians an important question. Do they feel that the K-12 system has gone in the right direction or wrong direction over the last 20 years? And what we found was that 55% of Canadians said wrong direction. So today we're going to take a look at a policy option that might give Canadians some more choice, something called charter schools, which exist across Alberta. And we've got two excellent guests to talk with us all about charter schools today. Caylan Ford is the founder of Alberta Classical Academy, and Lisa Davis is the founder of STEM Innovation Academy and STEM Collegiate, and she's also on the Provincial Association of Charter Schools, Public Charter Schools Board. Thank you both for taking a few minutes to chat with me today. Lisa, I'm just wondering, for those who aren't familiar with charter schools, could you just tell us a little bit about what a charter school is and how they operate?
Sure. So charter schools are fully public schools. They are publicly funded, and they offer a specific learning approach. So in order to be approved as a charter school, you go through a rigorous approval process to get started. Charter schools have their own board of directors, are directly accountable to the ministry, and by law cannot charge tuition or offer a religious program. It's important to note that charter schools follow the provincially mandated curriculum, but offer innovative programming within the same accountability framework as every other public board.
So can you just give us a bit of a snapshot of the history of charter schools, how long they've been in Alberta, how many schools there are, and so forth?
Sure. So charter schools began in 1994 with legislation that established them. And they have since grown. Up until a few years ago, there was a cap on charter schools of 13. And today there are 21 approved charter schools in the province, offering a wide variety of programming, everything from arts education to classical education to outdoor education with an inquiry-based focus, Indigenous-focused education. So there really is a number of tremendous programs that are innovative and not generally found in the public system.
Okay, well, thanks for the quick 101 on charter schools and how they operate. Caylan, I'm wondering if you could just tell us why you decided to found a charter school. I mean, this is not an easy endeavor to start up a school, but also tell us a little bit about the school and how it operates and maybe how it's a bit different from, say, public schools.
Sure. I think there's a few ways I could approach that question, and I think later in the interview we'll get into diagnosing what's maybe gone wrong in the conventional public system. But I think I would say that I think a lot of schools have lost their sense of what the proper teleological end of education is. What is it for? And that relates to the question of what the human person is for. And I think they've gone off track, often in one of two directions. Either schools see children as instruments for social transformation. They want to sort of overthrow systems that are perceived as oppressive and to use children as a means of doing that. Or else they're sort of purely utilitarian and they want to prepare students for jobs. And I think that reflects an impoverished view of the human person. I think it's an incomplete anthropology. So we see education as actually being about helping people acquire intellectual and moral, even aesthetic discernment, helping them cultivate wisdom, learning to be virtuous, good people who are capable of leading meaningful lives and of being free citizens, ultimately.
And so when you were thinking about starting up a charter school, it certainly must have been overwhelming to think about setting one up, everything that goes into it, hiring teachers, and that was how long did you wrestle with that decision before deciding to go for it?
Well, it came together pretty fortuitously. We've managed to assemble a really remarkable team of teachers and leaders. I think people who had been languishing in the conventional public schools and sort of felt that something was wrong with the way that they were delivering education, but didn't necessarily know where to go. And so once this sort of germ of an idea started to grow, we found that it attracted a huge amount of interest from educators and from parents. And you'd asked earlier, what differentiates classical education